Hello, it's Matt and Pete again from the Bright Click. Hope everyone is doing well. Another one of our vids today. We're going to talk a little bit about the problem of relying on just one source of revenue stream as a business. And I speak about this with some real experience of having gone through it ourselves as a business and seeing clients, kind of go through this kind of thing as well, in relation to getting too reliant on just one revenue stream. Now, the way I want to start this off, the obvious thing is that most businesses get referrals from their friends, family, other businesses, other people. And when you start off as a business, generally that's the way that you'll kick things off in terms of your lead gen. When I started Bright Click, it was really easy at the beginning because I had a couple of people that I could reach out for some business from my sort of little black book of people I've met in the past. And then a couple of friends said, oh, can you do this? Can you do that? Can you do this? And then word gets around and people start talking to each other and you grow that and you kind of think, well, that's how it must work, right? That is kind of what it is. And then the problem is if that dies off in some way, if people stop referring you or you get into this kind of notion where things dry up a little bit, or perhaps there's a seasonal change, perhaps it's Christmas or Easter or people are away and that kind of stuff, you enter what is known as the feast and famine cycle in terms of your lead gen. In that the problem with referral lead gen is that there's no predictability to it. You can't control when somebody is going to contact you or when someone's going to mention you or kindly mention your business to someone else. So the way to stop that and the way to kind of prevent that is to make sure that you've got lots of different ways of winning business. And most businesses don't really know where to start where that's concerned. So Pete, in recent times, at the Bright Click, we've definitely relied a lot on referrals and partnerships and that kind of stuff. But in order to try and scale and to grow and to get to that next level, across the last, probably 18 months or so, I'd suggest, we've started to open up more revenue generation streams. And it's starting to work really well for us. So I guess the first place to start, if you were going to say to a small business who's been relying on referrals up until now, right, here are a couple of things you could do to open up some other revenue streams. What would your initial suggestions be?
Yeah. Well, firstly, I completely agree with that. You're right. And referrals are always going to be amazing. And actually, to start with, I think a form of referral scheme is good rather than just relying on organic referrals to come in through the door. Why not run some kind of, some form of referral scheme and entice more of those referrals? Because ultimately, referrals are always going to be the best lead because they've come from somebody who knows one of your brand advocates and somebody that loves you and stuff like that. And I think running some form of referral scheme is a great start to, if that is your only marketing pillar, or if you only have a few marketing pillars, but that's one of them, then make that even bigger. Keep building on that. But I mean, listen, Matt, there are tons of revenue streams. And even in the last 18 months, we've been building on how many marketing streams that we have coming in through the business, down to little things like improving the website and, making sure the forms are all amazing and, writing more content, doing these videos and stuff like that. But there's loads of things we could be doing, or that clients could be doing: better social media content, better review management, social media ads, whether that's on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, maybe even exploring the likes of TikTok and stuff like that, depending what your brand is. Email marketing, more or less every single client that I've ever spoken to has some form of client database, some kind of client list, that is sitting there to be advertised to. And there are ways that we can do that whilst keeping compliant with GDPR and getting content out to those people and getting content out to new people via those kind of lists. Search engine optimization, making yourself appear higher and higher on Google, it's well documented. If people haven't seen this yet, I highly recommend checking out our search engine optimization video that we did with Matthew and the team. It talks about the percentages of people that only click within page 1, for example. So whilst it might be nice that you're 10th on the list, that means you're on page 2. You need to be in that kind of top 5. So search engine optimization, where are you appearing on Google ads as well? There's just so much that you could be doing. And the list does go on. We did an exercise within the BrightClick, if you remember, Matt, where we kind of sat down and thought, right, let's write all of our services down that we produce for clients or could potentially produce for clients, and let's get them all written down. And we got to the point where the list was getting silly. We had so much on there that we had to work on a way of condensing that for the website and putting it into a more kind of bite-sized chunk of, well, let's kind of house all of this within digital marketing, for example, or let's house all of this within websites, for example, because there's just so much that we could be doing. So that is just a few things off the top of my head that I would instantly be saying to clients, are you doing it? If you're not, we absolutely need to be doing it. And if you are doing it, how does it look? How much research has truly gone into it? You know, we've spoken in our other vids about how important competitor research is and stuff like that, and doing things, you know, in best practice. It's easy to just say, oh yeah, I'm going to stick some ads out. Well, no, it needs to be done in the proper way if you're going to get results from it. There's loads you could be doing, and you're absolutely right. Having all of these active and having all of these funnels, you know, entering your inbox, entering your CRM system is so important, because you don't want to put all your eggs in one basket and say, yeah, things are going really great, we're getting loads of referrals, how brilliant is this? Because it will dry up. It will dry up, whether that's, you know, in a month, in a year, 5 years, it will dry up. And as you say, it will dry up in seasonal patterns as well, you know, and obviously for cash flow, that's something that can't happen.
Yeah, I think that, you know, that's the problem, the unpredictability of referrals. As you said, they're amazing, and they're the best type of lead that you can get because they're warm, they come to you, and, you know, you're more likely to convert a referral lead than any other lead. I would suggest, like, you know, it's a high percentage. The problem is, as you say, that you can't rely on it. I think that your comment there about having an actual referral system, I think it's really great. I think people generally don't proactively ask for referrals. You kind of wait for them to come. But if you've got a few clients and you reach out and say, look, is there somebody that you know that could benefit from the services that we're supplying for you as well? Would you mind introducing us? Would you mind putting us in touch? I think that's absolutely brilliant. Something else that you touched on, though, which I think is worth having a quick chat about, is the list, is your database, is the list of clients that you've built. Sorry, the list of potential clients, or the list of clients, or the list of people who have engaged with you in some way or in some capacity, because it's so underutilized. It's probably worth another video just talking about email marketing, Pete, at some point in the future. But
absolutely.
I think that's the first thing that I think, you know, any business should really think about doing is getting some regular communication out to their database and adding real value to that, because that's a way of telling people what you've been up to. That's a way of sparking some ideas. That's a way of generating, you know, some interest in services that people might not know that you even do. And I think that utilizing that mailing list, when we look at the majority of clients that we kind of come across or that we work with, it's probably the discipline, if you like, in digital marketing that isn't being done enough. Do you agree?
Yeah, no, I completely agree. And in terms of keeping clients up to date with what you're doing, you're right. Not everything has to be sell. I mean, yeah, it's great if you're a repeat business client to us, then, you know, we'll recommend putting out regular emails to try and sell more products and stuff like that. But it might be that your services, or you know, you just want to kind of keep in touch. And I mean, you know, you've given me so many case studies in the past, Matt, of because, you know, we send out a regular newsletter that comes from you or comes from different members of the team, just to talk about what we've been up to talk about our services, but not necessarily to always go in with a hard sell, just to keep the clients up to date with what we're doing. And the amount of times you've kind of said to me that you kind of forget who's on that list, and then you've actually had situations where 5 years down the line, a client's come back to you about one specific email that you sent and said, I really like this email, and actually I would love to have more of a chat about that. I've been meaning to get in touch with you. And because you've kept up that kind of connection with them, they've never really kind of forgotten about you. And it can be the case that you do a bit of work for a client and you shake hands, you move on, and then you never really get in contact with that person again, and, you know, the relationship goes away. Whereas keeping that constant dialogue going via email marketing and stuff like that is a great idea.
It's really good, and I think, as we say, really, really underutilized. And also, I think there's a misconception that that you're spamming if you're just sending emails out, like, you know, or actually, if you're sending emails out with good value and with content that people are going to enjoy to the right audience, actually people enjoy receiving those emails. I've got
Of course.
10 or 12 emails that I subscribe to, marketing emails or
Mhm.
sales emails or whatever, that I look forward to receiving, like, and I think you've got to be
Exactly.
confident in sending them out, right?
Yeah, exactly. And sending emails out for the sake of sending emails out is obviously a no-no, because people are going to read it and know that you're doing that. But people love it when they receive relevant emails, relevant content to them. I get so many emails which are just kind of spammy, and even though they're not meant to be, and I get frustrated with them. But if I get an email from a specific brand, or a specific client who I'm genuinely interested in, and they're sending me genuinely interesting content about what they've been up to, I love that. And we talk about referrals. I mean, the strategic partnership side of things, Matt, as
Yeah.
well, is something that is important to us as well. And you mentioned there about potentially asking somebody, oh, well, how about referral? How about is there anybody that could be of interest? Well, it doesn't necessarily have to just be about that. You can work. When it comes to strategic partnerships, you can work with a client to approach their clients for stuff they don't do, that you could kind of do on their behalf. And thus you give more value to your brand, to their brand, and ultimately their clients happier as well, because they're getting even more services. There'll be services that other agencies produce that it doesn't really fall within our remit, and we're not too stressed about getting involved in. But at the same time, if one of our clients approached us and we said, well, actually, we know someone who's amazing who could do that for you, and we'll introduce them to you, it just works better for everybody. And similarly, we will use it for our benefit as well, in the sense that we'll have some website or IT consultants, for example, or agencies come to us and say, look, we don't do marketing, but we get so many requests for marketing. How about we create a partnership, and we promote your services to them, and we work together to get each other new business. And again, we talk about marketing avenues and revenue streams. Well, there's another one there.
Oh, 100%. Strategic partnerships have been absolutely brilliant for our growth over the years as well. And we've formed some really great solid relationships with
Yeah.
other agencies, as you say. Really great example is we've got a great partnership with a Shopify agency who just do Shopify websites. They don't do any marketing kind of internally. They get us to do that. When they get an inquiry about SEO or social media marketing, they send that over to us. So
Right.
if you can build up an army of people like that who are working on your behalf, that again is another absolutely brilliant marketing pillar. So quick summary to finish up. If you're relying on one stream of revenue generation, it's going well for you, that's brilliant. However, it's not a great strategy just to rely on one form of revenue generation. It's important that you open up as many as possible. And if one does go down, you've got another few to fall back on. So to summarize, that might be email marketing, that might be a referral campaign, that might be strategic partnerships, that might be Google ads, Facebook ads, social media content, e-newsletters, all that stuff. Get as many of them done as you can. If you want some advice on what you can do and how you can do it, that is exactly what we're here for. Please drop us a line, info@thebrightclick.co.uk, or come and find us on the socials, and look forward to seeing you all again soon.
Thank you.